What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be discussing some of the talents that actually were formerly in Paladins a long time ago and actually either got removed from the game or either got reworked and put into some of the Champions base kits, and which ones should actually be brought back, and if there's any ones that are actually still decent, whether or not they should be put into some of the Champions base kits or entirely reworked and brought back in some capacity. So, really interesting video, and I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. I know if you guys have been giving me a lot of requests to do this type of video as well, so actually really interesting. So hopefully you guys stick around. Like I said, if you guys like these types of videos, leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and share the video. And I also do stream Paladins, Smite, and Apex Legends, along with a bunch of other stuff. So if you guys not want to miss that as well, feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate that. Just a lot of cool stuff in this. So let's start it out with Androxus. Keep in mind as well, like with this, they actually started removing talents. I think it was the patch Amani got put into the game, which was 39 champions. So we're at, what, like 54, 53 champions or something now. So quite a while ago already, actually, like over 10 champions ago. So it was up until Amani got put into the game, where they took all the champions from all the past champions and they actually removed the fourth talent. So keep that in mind. There's not going to be like stuff like Atlas or like Yaghrith or like Azan, and it's going to just be pretty much up until the Amani got put into the game. So I mean, I guess technically Atlas is still in this because he had a talent that got removed, but still, nothing really after Amani. That being said, though, let's hop right into this. First off, we got Androxus. The talent that actually got removed for Androxus, which I actually think should be brought back in some capacity, was Dark Stalker. I actually remember this talent. I didn't remember what the name was, but I knew what it did, and I actually do want this back. Let me know what you guys think about all these talents in the comments down below. Do you guys want some of these talents brought back? Do you guys think some of these talents should be put into the Champions base kit in like a watered down capacity? Or some of these talents could be slightly reworked and brought back in some way? I would love to know what you guys think in the comments down below as well. That'd be really cool. But yeah, Dark Stalker is the one that got taken away for Androxus. Deal 20% more weapon damage to enemies below 50% health. I actually think this would be actually a really good replacement for Curse Revolver. Curse Revolver seems like it's either, it's always too good, it's just a must-pick talent. The rest of his talents, they never want to buff, and they just never seem really good enough to pick over Curse Revolver. Why not just take Curse Revolver out of the game and just give us Dark Stalker back? I don't know, I would not be against that at all. That'd be a really cool change. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below, but I don't know, is it really worth taking Defiant Fist or Godslayer out of the game for Dark Stalker and bringing that back? I don't know. Overall, really cool, though. Got Ashe. Ashe's fourth talent that actually got removed was called Rally here. Assert Dominance now charges 15% faster, stuns enemies for 2 seconds, and causes them to take 35% more damage. I think the reason why they removed this talent from the game is because they actually ended up kind of putting this into Ashe's base kit. I think this was before Ashe actually had a stun on her ult, to where you actually, if you dump your ult on somebody like right on top of them, you would never stun them, and they actually took this talent and actually reworked it and put it kind of into her ult. That's kind of why this talent got removed from the game. Overall, this one doesn't need to be brought back. It's kind of self-explanatory why this one got removed. And there's a bunch of these talents as well that are kind of just self-explanatory. They were either just really useless, or they kind of got reworked and put into the base Champions kit in some capacity. That's kind of why they got taken out of the game. But there are some talents that I do think need to be brought back, so we're just going to go through them all, and it's really good going back through these as well, because even me, I've been playing the game for like 4.5, 5 years almost now, and I forgot like half of the talents that actually were taken out of the game. There are some I remember, but I actually forgot the names of them and stuff, so even for me, it's a real refresher. Barik actually got, his fourth talent was actually Hair Trigger, which actually made your blunderbuss fire 30% faster. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was actually a pretty cool talent. I don't know if it had like a damage decrease at 1.2. I don't see that here, but it just made your weapon fire 30% faster. I think this could be brought back in some capacity, even in like a loadout card. I think this would actually be a really good talent to like implement into like a reworked loadout card for Barik. I think that would be really cool. It doesn't even have to be like 30%. It can be up to like 10 or even like 15 or 20% faster. That'd be really cool for those people that actually want to run that type of card. Also, I guess you can technically put Architectonics into this as well, because that got reworked, but that was very recently, and it's not really going to be in this video. This is mainly just for the talents that got removed when they actually had 4 talents, and they shrink the game down to each champion having 3 talents. So, as for Bomb King, his removed 4th talent was actually Demolition. Grumpy Bomb destroys all shields when it explodes, and its blast radius is increased by 30%. Kind of one of those talents that was removed for a real solid reason, and that's because it was pretty much useless. There was a reason why this talent got removed. It's just flat up useless, like flat out useless. As for Buck, his removed talent was actually Bucking Madness. Eliminations increase your attack speed by 20% for 10 seconds. I think they actually took this and actually put it into his base kit, because didn't they add that to his ult, where you actually get eliminations with your ult? You could increase attack speed. I'm pretty sure that's what they added. I don't know. That's the reason why it got removed, I'm telling you right now. And if that's not the case, then I don't know why you would even pick this anyway. It just doesn't make sense. As for Cassie, her talent that actually got removed was actually called Just Breathe. Crossbow shots deal 850 damage past 120 feet. I actually remember this talent. I actually remember using this way back in the day. I just didn't remember the name of it. It was actually called Just Breathe. That's what it was. It's kind of a flashback for me, because I remember actually playing this. I know why it got removed. Look at all the other talents that Cassie has. She does not have a single bad talent, and this was clearly the worst talent. That's why, again, another no-brainer why this one got removed from the game. All of Cassie's talents right now are all good. They all have a justifiable use in a specific playstyle or a reason to pick them. Just Breathe never did, and that's the reason why I got ejected from the game and removed. Dredge, the talent that he actually used to have and got removed from the game, was Freebooter. I actually really like this talent, and I actually do think this needs to be brought back. Whether this actually goes into Dredge's base kit or actually gets brought back and one of his talents that he currently has gets removed, preferably either Hurl or Abyss Spike. I know that I'm going to get shit on by a lot of people for wanting those talents to probably be removed for this, but I think this should be brought back. It was really cool. It was a really cool mechanic. The only thing they actually need to bring back to this, so it would actually fix the initial problem, and the reason why they originally removed this is because people would kind of use it to troll, and they would set it outside of a spawn door, and people would go through it without being able to, like, actually get out of it, and there was no way to, like, cancel or, like, get out of it and have, like, a confirmation of going through his portal. All they need to do is add a button prompt to actually go through his portal. If you guys play Overwatch, Symmetra has her teleporter. The same thing, you just give us the same thing. For that, you have to use like a button prompt to actually teleport through it. The problem with this is they never added a button prompt, and you would just get automatically teleported through his shortcut when this was originally in the game. The only thing they need to add to this is a button prompt, so people can't use it just to troll, and if that was the real problem. This needs to be brought back. This is the talent number 1 out of the entire talents for this video. That should be brought back, either put into Dredge's base kit, or actually replace one of his other talents. Preferably either Abyss Spike or Hurl. I think Scuttle's probably his best talent. That's just me, though. But this one does need to be brought back. It's a shame it ever got removed, because I think it was really cool, and it should never got removed. His talent that actually got removed, I was going to say released, got removed, was Reign of Terror. I know there's some people, especially the people that play Drogoz a lot, that actually want this talent back. Do you guys actually want this talent back over all the talents that he currently has right now? I don't think there's any way that you actually would remove one of the talents he currently has, because all the ones he has right now I think are actually solid. He has a lot of, I think maybe the worst one he has is maybe the one where you get like knockback on your fire spit, but apart from that, like, I don't think there's any way to actually bring this back, unless they put this into Drogoz' base kit in some way, and I just don't think they would actually be able to do that in the point where it wouldn't make sense and wouldn't be balanced enough. I would not trust them balance-wise to actually do that correctly, so. Evie, the talent that got removed for her was called Reprieve. Heal 300 damage per second during Ice Block, and the reason why they removed this is because they gave her a loadout card that does the same thing. Really simple for that one. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm not sure how long have you guys been playing the game, but depending on some of you guys, you probably been playing the game for quite a while. If you guys remember Dragonfire Lance Fernando, that shit was fun as hell to play. This is one of the talents they need to bring back for Fernando. I think it's something that was really fun to play. Flame Lance now fires small fireballs that deal 120 damage every 0.2 seconds. This talent was so fun to play. It really was. It gave him an entirely new playstyle. It really did. I don't know why they ever took this one out of the game. It was so fun to play. Like, I don't know what talent they would actually remove now, though. Like, what talent would you actually remove from Fernando that actually bring this back, though? That's the huge problem. Would you get rid of Aegis, or would you get rid of any of his other talents? I don't know. I just want this talent back. If they would bring this talent back, I don't even care which talent they would remove. I just want Dragonfire Lance back. It was so fun to play. One of the funnest tank talents they had in the game originally, and when they removed it, man, I was mad that this one left. It was so fun to play. Those of you guys that were not able to play it back in the day, and you guys have not been playing that long, you guys missed out on a really fun talent. Furia, the talent that got removed for her was called Celerity. There's a reason why they got rid of this one. I think it's because they actually... It just didn't make sense to have. Like, this one did not make sense to have. If I'm being honest, though, I would rather have this talent in the game over Exterminate. I hate Exterminate. I would rather have Celerity in the game over Exterminate, but this talent was useless. I'm sorry. The reason why this one got removed from the game is similar to Bomb King, and it's because this talent was legit just useless. As for Grohk, yeah, there's a reason why this one got taken out of the game. When you take lethal damage, your Ghost Walk would automatically activate and heal you for 15% of your maximum health. One, I think they actually added a loadout card where you actually get healing when you activate Ghost Walk. So there's one reason why it got taken out of the game. Number two, this is probably one of the worst talents that was ever created. 60-second internal cooldown, and it would automatically activate. I actually remember this one. I remember actually seeing this in the game and remember playing with this and actually playing against it. There was no way you could actually deactivate it. It was something that was that would activate like automatically, and you would not be able to actually control it at all. So, and once it would activate, you'd have a 60-second internal cooldown, which was just crazy. Probably one of the worst talents of all time. One of those ones that's currently up there with like one of the worst ones of all time. That's why that got removed from the game. Grover, he actually had Efflorescence, increased the passive healing of Blossom by 100% and its radius by 50%. The reason why they took this one out of the game is because they pretty much took this talent and they converted it into loadout cards. They gave us, I think, a loadout card that gave us, I think, it gives you, I think, 40 or 50% extra range. So they took half this talent, they put into loadout cards. And then I think they gave some of this talent actually over to Rampant Blooming. So that's the reason why this one got taken out of the game. For Inara, Wrath of Stagalia. I actually want this one to be brought back, guys. I may seem crazy, but I actually think this needs to be brought back. Get rid of like the 3-wall talent. Get rid of that talent and bring back Wrath of Stagalia. That way we can have damage Inara, because I feel like there's just no way you can actually play her as like a damage off tank unless you run like Cripple and just try to run at people, and that's the only way you can kind of play her. At least with this, you're doing decent damage. Hitting all 3 shots of the same target deals an extra 200 damage. There you go. For Jenos, he used to have Celestial Touch. I remember this talent actually. This actually was a really good talent. I don't know why they removed this one. When you cast Astral Mark on an ally, they are immediately healed for 10% of their maximum health. It was pretty much the go-to like healing talent for Jenos. I still don't know why they ever removed this. I really don't. I actually think they need to remove the Luminary from the game and actually bring back Celestial Touch. I really do. They kind of taken this talent though, and they kind of integrated it into Jenos' base kit, because now he heals a flat amount anyways, and it's not really percentage based. The only way it would be better is with tanks, and you'd be actually healing less than what he currently has on like squishy champions. I don't know. I think it was good a long time ago until they recently made some changes, and now I just don't think there's really a point in bringing it back unless they change some of the numbers around. Instead of 10, maybe 20%. That would be a lot better. Here's talent number 2 that we must have back in the game, and it's a must need. That should be in the game, no questions asked. Champions affected by Battle Shout now deal 20% increased damage and gain CC immunity for 4 seconds. Why this was ever removed from the game is one of the stupidest decisions I think they've made out of all the talents being removed from the game. Bring back Firing Line. Take away any of the talents that Khan currently has, preferably Leon's Shield, because it's useless, and give us Firing Line back, please. The community has been asking for Firing Line to make a comeback, whether it's with 20% and 4 second CC immunity, or like a watered down version. Even like 10% would have been, 10% in like 3 seconds would be great. Just some way to bring this talent back, please. I don't know why it ever got removed. Kinessa, I actually think they need to bring this talent back. They actually need to take Eagle Eye out of the game after it got reworked, because it's one of the worst talents they've ever reworked, and bring back Suppression. If you guys know what Suppression does, it was actually Pressure Mines can actually affect 2 or more targets, and sniper shots against the enemies affected by the mines do 30% more damage. This talent was actually really good. Another talent that should never really been removed from the game, and I can see why they removed it, but at the same time, they reworked Eagle Eye to be fucking useless. So, if you're going to rework Eagle Eye to be one of the worst talents in the game, remove that from the game and bring back Suppression, please. I would rather have Suppression than the current Eagle Eye with how bad it is. For Koga, here's another talent they need to bring back in some capacity, whether it's removing a talent from the game with Koga's kit right now or bringing it into his base kit in some capacity. Master of Arms. I don't know why they ever removed this talent. This is one of the funnest talents to use. I remember just playing the shit out of this talent when Koga got released into the game, and that was actually when I first started playing around when Furia and Koga were first put into the game. That's kind of when I started playing the game. I remember just using the shit out of this talent. It was great. Successful hits with your SMG submachine guns have 50% chance to cost no ammo. So you could pretty much just kind of fire at people, especially with like the right loadout. You would have pretty much infinite ammo. It was great. I don't know why they ever removed this, and for some reason they thought Blood Reaper is somehow a better talent than this. Why? Remove Blood Reaper from the game and bring back Master of Arms. It doesn't even have to be 50%, it can be like 20 or 25%. It can be a little bit nerfed and watered down and still be really solid. I would love to have this talent back in the game. Or just actually include this into his base kit. Make it into his base kit and give us like a 10 or 20% chance in his base kit and bring Master of Arms into his base kit. Or you can do the option number 3 and actually take Adrenaline Junkie, include that into his base kit, and remove Adrenaline Junkie from the game, and actually give us back Master of Arms. I think that would be the best option, but either of those I would not mind. Lex, his talent that was removed was called the Law 1. I forgot this name even existed. I forgot about Lex's talent that even got removed. I did not even know the name of it until now. Killing your Retribution target grants a 5% damage buff that stacks up to 25 times. So the reason why this talent got removed from the game, it's just because it was a worse and more this useless talent from what Discovery does. There was no reason to use this talent over Discovery. When you get a 30% damage buff versus your Retribution target, over having to kill a Retribution target and only getting up to a 25% stacking effect, it was probably one of the worst talents they had. At least for Lex, and probably one of the worst talents in the game. Some of you guys probably remember this. Death and Taxes, back when they had Pro Play too. This is the talent that single-handedly made Lian like a must-pick in every single game, especially when there was Pro Play back in the day. Your weapon shots reduce the effect of healing on your targets by 90% by 1.5 seconds. I don't know whoever thought this was a good idea to actually make a talent that gives you Tier 3 Cauterize out of spawn at the start of a game. The reason why they removed this from the game is a no-brainer, and it makes 100% sense, because you got Cauterized 3 out of spawn, and you pretty much throw off the entire match. And the enemy team, if they do not have Lian, can't fight into you because you already have Cauterized 3 at the start of the game, and they don't. They have probably a Tier 1. And even now, like with the game not even having Cauterized anymore, and everybody having it on their basic weapon attacks, it's even more of a no-brainer. That's why it's removed from the game. This is the reason why this talent got removed. Artful Dodge, or activating 9 lives, cleanses all crowd control and heals for 400. The reason why they removed this one is because they put that into her base kit. She now heals for 400 when she activates 9 lives anyways with her base kit, so that's why they kind of removed it. And taking that away from this talent, that would be pretty much a useless talent just for CC immunity for like 1 second. When you activate 9 lives, that has like a 20-second cooldown. Would have been useless. So that's why this talent got removed from the game. Makoa, I don't know if you guys remember this one. This was one of the funner talents. It was kind of a troll talent, but it was, man, was it fun to use. And actually, it would actually be really a lot better now, because back in the day when this talent was actually in the game, Makoa's Shell Spin did not do any damage. Now they actually buffed it to where it actually does 500 damage if you hit somebody with your Shell Spin. Back in the day, it never did damage, so that's why this talent was pretty much useless, and it's why it got removed. But your Shell Spin now lasts until cancelled, and you can control its direction. So you can pretty much just infinitely just Shell Spin the entire game. You were acting like you were pretty much in Mario Kart, that you were like either a blue, a green, or a red shell from Mario Kart. And you can pretty much just do that the entire game. It was kind of one of those talents that people would just pick and just kind of troll and kind of throw your games. If I'm being honest, that's why it got removed. But it was really fun and funny to play against and see in your games. It really was. I don't think it's ever going to be removed or brought back, and it should stay removed just because it makes no sense to add back into the game over his current talents. But man, was that fun to use back in the day. And fun to play against, it really was. Even though it was kind of troll and a throw talent because it was just worthless to use. But, I mean, I guess if they did bring it back, like I said, you could actually just run into people the entire time and do 500 damage because you do damage now. When this was originally in the game, you never would do damage on his shell spin. You would just knock people back slightly. That's all it would do. So, technically, if they did add it back in, it would be a little bit better, but still, it'd be kind of worthless to use. It really would. But there's two talents here. I know it's kind of off-center for you guys, probably, because it's kind of weird on this website, and that's why you guys probably can't. It's kind of cut off, and it's not fully visible for you guys because there's two of them here. But technically, he has two talents that were removed from the game. Ripened Gourd used to be a 50% chance for Gourd to not go on cooldown, and then they actually changed it to it would give you like an insane amount of healing to what we currently have in the game right now. So it technically got reworked. And then the talent that originally got reworked and actually removed from the game was Wekono's Curse, which I think they should bring back in some capacity. Even put into his base kit would be really cool. Mending Spirits can now be used on enemies to deal 560 damage over 2 seconds, which is really cool. You used to be able to actually use your heal on enemies instead of just your allies and actually do 560 damage over 2 seconds. So it gave him another way to do damage. I actually think he needs that in his base kit. Bring back Wekono's Curse and put it into Maldamba's base kit, please. I think that would actually make him a lot better because he's kind of struggling right now, if I'm being honest. Moji, the talent that got removed for her was called Yummy. Consuming a victim of your ultimate recharges your ultimate by 50% and heals you for 1,000. I mean, can't they just take this talent and put it back into her base kit? I mean, this entire talent can probably be put into Moji's base kit, and she would still be probably the worst champion in the game. I think this talent and Moji herself should have been removed back in the day, if I'm being honest. But if you actually used to have a talent called Mischief, hits with your potion launcher reduce the cooldown of all other skills by 1 second. I actually think this is one of those talents that actually should be put into Pip's base kit. Like, why isn't this in Pip's base kit? It would make him so much better. Pip sucks. He's been bad for, I don't know, like at least 3 years already. He has not been good in forever, and he's probably the worst he's ever been now just with the new item changes. Can we just please put this into his kit? Put this into his base kit. Take this talent and put it into his base kit. I think it would make it a lot better and make him actually able to actually box with people and encourage you to actually fight to get cooldown reduction. I think it would actually be really good for him. You'd see a lot more Pip being played, and it would give you a reason to actually play him. Ruckus, he had Overdrive, deal up to 40% more damage based on your missing health, which did not make any sense at all. This is one of those talents that didn't really make much sense, because the only way you'd get value out of it is if you are at low health. And if you're at low health, you're susceptible to being killed, and you would just never get any value out of this talent. That's the reason why it got removed from the game, which is justifiable. Seris, she actually had to avoid a bias. This is pretty much one of those talents that actually got included into her base kit. That's what this is. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. They pretty much took what this talent was, and they actually took this talent and actually put this into Mortal Reach. That's kind of what they did. And some of it into Mortal Reach, and some of it into her base kit. There you go. That's why it got removed. Lian, he actually had 2 talents, which I'll talk about here. It might look a little bit weird on screen for you guys, because like I said, sometimes if they have more than one talent, at least on this site I'm using, that actually got removed, it kind of scales weird and it doesn't fully center, at least with what I'm using, so that's why it kind of looks cut off. But Shifting Sands, killing an enemy resets the cooldown of Planted, and Planted deals 10% more damage. This was before Planted got reworked, because Planted got reworked. It used to be a stationary ability, and I think would go like 5 seconds. It was a 5-second duration, and each arrow you shot out did like 800 damage, but you were rooted in place and staying in place. This was a talent he had before Planted got entirely reworked. And then he had Desert Shadow, increase the damage of your first weapon shot or planted arrow by 25% during withdraw's stealth effect. So if you withdrew, the first arrow that you would use breaking out of stealth after you use withdraw would do 25% more damage. So I don't know. And then he had the old explosive arrow one, which actually got recently removed. I'm not going to talk about that very much. It just got reworked pretty much to make it a little bit better. That's kind of what happened with that one. Overall, Shifting Sands, the reason why it got removed is because Planted eventually got reworked, and it just doesn't make sense to have it anymore, so that's why. Skye, I think this is actually a talent that needs to be brought back. They actually need to remove Preparation from the game and actually bring back Surprise Attack, because this was actually a lot better of a talent for Skye, and I actually think it can actually help her in the right direction and give her a pretty solid buff, especially with talents. Deal 500 bonus damage on your first weapon shot out of Hidden, so as long as you're in stealth, whether it be with your, like I think it's with your either your smoke screen or with your hidden, with your stealth ability, you actually get 500 bonus damage. Now it says only hidden here with their stealth ability, but they could always rework that and actually, if they want to put it back into the game, make it so it actually also works on your smoke screen, which actually be really cool. I think that would make her a lot better and give this talent actually some justifiable use. If there's anybody from the AOC watching, like, I hope you guys are taking notes. I'm giving you guys prime time, like, balance changes and reasons why to bring some of these talents back and actually balance some of the current champions in the game. Whether it be a buff or a nerf or whatever, but mainly buffs and really good changes. Hopefully you guys are taking notes if you're from the AOC and happen to be watching this video. For Strix, the talent that actually got removed and needs to be brought back and replace any of his talents apart from a Nocturnal would be Ambush. I don't know why they ever removed this talent from the game. It was great. I don't know why they ever removed it. Weapon shots made in stealth deal 15% more damage. So if you were in stealth and you make a shot out of stealth and break your stealth, you would do 15% more damage on that shot. So I think it would deal like, what was it? If it wasn't a headshot, it was like 1325 damage or something around there. I think with a headshot, it was like 1900 or something like that. So I don't know why they took this out of the game. If there's a talent that needs to be put back into the game for a champion in this video, it's Ambush. I'm sorry. Strix's talents are all garbage. Nocturnal's even really bad. But get rid of whatever he has right now. Get rid of the crack shot we have right now and replace it with Ambush. One of the worst talents in the game. You can't get any worse than the current crack shot we got. He actually had Raging Demon, and the duration of overcharge is increased by 1 second. The simple thing why they removed this one is, again, it was useless because they actually increased and made a loadout card, so you can actually take this talent and just use a loadout card for this. So the talent was pretty much useless. That's why it got removed, because this talent got put into a loadout card for Talus. There you go. Terminus, he actually had Seething Rage. Attack 20% faster when you have no charges of Calamity Blast stored. Like, was this talent any better than what he currently has? Probably not. That's why it got removed. It makes sense why it got removed. It just doesn't make sense why it would be good anyways. Torvald, he actually had Alternating Current. Increase recharges duration by 1.5 seconds. Just pretty much one of those talents that got removed because it was legit useless and there was just no reason to have it in the game and no way to actually make it work for any reason at all. Ira, she actually had First Blood, which the reason why this talent got removed is because this got put into her base kit. I think she got, 20% lifesteal in her base kit now. That's why this talent got removed from the game. For Victor, this is actually a talent that actually would like to come back in some capacity. I don't know if this would actually be something that they could put into his base kit and slightly increase the damage on his hipfire. The reason why this talent got removed, though, is because it was just, I don't know, it just didn't make sense. It encouraged people to actually just use hipfire the entire game and never use ADS because they would never get bonus damage. You were doing more damage with hipfire than actually aiming down sights, and that was the problem with this talent. It encouraged you to just run at people with hipfire and do more damage that way instead of actually playing with and aiming down sights with your gun. That was the problem. I actually remember going against this talent too when it was actually in the game. Like a lot of noobs galore actually would just abuse the shit out of this. Absolutely just abuse the shit out of it. They would just run at people with hipfire and just delete people. It actually did a lot of damage. His base hipfire does a lot of damage the way it is. And with 30% more damage as well with hip firing, it actually did a shit ton of damage. It would actually just melt people. So Vivian, she used to have Sapper rounds. Deal 150% increased damage to shields, so you had pretty much a tier 3 of Wrecker out of spawn with the talent, similar to Lian. I don't know why this was ever a talent, let alone why it was ever a thing. There's a reason why it got removed, and that's why. Willow, she actually had Scorched Earth. Dead Zone damages shields now for 50% of their maximum health per second, and its cooldown is reduced by 3. The problem with this is you were getting something, I think, like Wrecker out of spawn, or it was kind of like Wrecker out of spawn, and was just doing too much damage to shields without actually having to buy Wrecker, and that's something I didn't want for the game. That's why it got removed. She actually had lifelike. I actually think this is one of those talents that actually should be brought back in some capacity. I don't know if it actually should be replaced for a talent that she currently has, or brought back and put into her base kit somehow. But she actually used to have this. Illusions can actually now heal 2 allies when healing, but illusions heal for 20% less. If it was me, and if I was actually able to balance this game, I would get rid of Illusory Mirror and her damage talent. I should get rid of that, or Renaissance, and bring back lifelike. I think that would be a better talent for her that actually promotes healing instead of actually damage on a support, which I hate. So, at least for me, if I was balancing the game, that's what I would do. But you could argue as well if you can put this into her base kit, and it would be kind of cool, and actually give her a slight buff, which arguably she could use because she's kind of just an alt bot. There you go. But not least, we got Xin. Retaliation. After countering an attack, you remain in your counter stance, and counter attack deals 10% more damage. I want to say this talent needs to be brought back, but like, look at all of Xin's talents right now. He doesn't have like an actual like bad talent. They all have some type of use, and they're all actually pretty good. I just don't know why they would actually bring this back. It was a really cool talent to have. It really was. They were actually really fun to use. You pretty much have like, as long as people keep shooting at you, like you would have like pretty much infinite counters, and you could pretty much just counter somebody down with extra damage and how much damage it would do. I think it did like 630 or 650 with 10% extra damage. And as long as they would keep firing at you, like you would stay in your counter stance, and you would just keep doing damage. So I don't know, I thought it was good. It was a lot better versus like players that didn't know how to play the game. If you were going against people that actually know to like not shoot at you during your counter, then it would be kind of useless. But that's kind of the main problem with this talent, and that's kind of why it probably got removed. There you have it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Went through all the talents in the game for at least all the champions up until Amani, when they started removing the 4th talent, and whatever ones should be brought back, or some of the ones that can maybe be brought back in some capacity within like a base kit or something like that. And then talking about the ones that got removed for a justifiable reason, and kind of just no-brainer why they got removed from the game. Whether they were useless, or they just didn't make sense, or they kind of broke the game at the time in the case of like Stapper-rounds or Death and Taxes. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you guys like these types of videos and you guys want more stuff like this in the future, let me know in the comments down below. If this video does well, I'll keep on bringing you guys these types of videos. This is something you guys have been wanting for quite a while, and I've been trying to put it together for quite a while and just looking for kind of a list, but couldn't really find a list, so I kind of just have to use whatever I had and kind of just work with whatever I had here. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you in a future video.